If you're looking for a new drone or to upgrade from the Mini 2 to the Air 2S, I'm going to be comparing these two drones to help you decide what you should get in 2021. The Mini 2 is a 249 gram drone that was released in November 2020, and the Air 2S was released about 2 months ago on April the 15th. Now, there's a lot that separates these two drones from each other, but it all depends on what you need. So let's get down to the specs and the technicality and talk about everything that just separates these two drones and which one suits your needs and wants. Hey everyone, my name is Farhan and welcome to another video. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. The Air 2S weighs about 590 grams and costs about $1,000, while the Mini 2 weighs 249 grams and costs $419. When it comes to flying drones in most countries, you need to register your drone and get a pilot certificate, and this is where size matters. The Mini 2 doesn't need to be registered in many countries because of its weight, which makes it the perfect travel drone and also the perfect beginner drone, while the Air 2S needs to be registered with your aviation or transport authority, and you also need to obtain a pilot certificate in order to fly the Air 2S. The Air 2S comes with a 1-inch camera capable of shooting color profiles such as D-Log and HLG in 10-bit color. That gives you more than 1 billion colors to work with. This gives you the ability to color grade your footage to your creative requirements, and the 1-inch camera allows for more light to enter the camera, which is great in low light scenarios. 10-bit color records more than 1 billion colors, which adds to the dynamic range, which lets you fully immerse in the hues of your environment. You can film 5.4K video up to 30 frames per second and 4K up to 60 frames per second, as well as slow-mo in 1080p. The Mini 2 features a 1/2.3-inch camera and no flat color profiles like the Air 2S. It does shoot video in 4K up to 30 frames per second and 2.7K up to 60 frames per second. Both drones have a fixed aperture of 2.8, which means you're gonna have to get ND filters in order to get the right shutter speeds for video or photos. The Air 2S shoots crisp photos on its 20 megapixel 1-inch camera in RAW, and also features smart photos in which the drone merges multiple shots automatically, increasing the dynamic range of images without the need for post-processing. That means more nuanced details in both the highlights and shadows for richer images with greater depth. It shoots photos in RAW to capture more visual information in every scene, even when lighting conditions are bad or complex. This provides more flexibility in post-processing, giving creators more possibilities to get the look they want. The Mini 2 shoots 12 megapixel photos also in RAW, which gives you more flexibility in editing your photos, and also includes timed photos and AEB of 3 and 5 photos, which shoots photos in different exposures. One underexposed, one properly exposed, and the other overexposed, which helps in different lighting conditions so you can merge them into HDR. I made a separate video on how you can get HDR photos from the Mini 2, and you can find the link to that video in the description below. Both drones also shoot panel photos, which includes 360 and wide angle. The Air 2S shoots hyperlapses in different modes such as waypoint, circle, free, and course lock. It shoots photos in RAW or JPEG and then creates the hyperlapse for you. For best results, you should edit the photos yourself and create the hyperlapse in your choice of editing software to stabilize them for better results. I have a separate video on how I edit my hyperlapse photos from the Air 2S, and you can find that on my channel. The Mini 2 doesn't have the automated features of shooting hyperlapses, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. How the Air 2S does it is by shooting interval photos, for example, 1 photo every 2 seconds. The Mini 2 has the option of timed photos where you move the drone and it shoots a photo every 2 seconds, for example. You then edit them and create a hyperlapse in your editing app. Keep in mind that to shoot photos in RAW, the minimum interval is 5 seconds, while for JPEG it's 2 seconds. I made a detailed video on creating hyperlapses from the Mini 2, and you can find the link to that video in the description below. The Air 2S features a lot of autonomous flight modes. The next evolution of Quickshots, Master Shots, is an advanced intelligent feature that gives users the best shots in any location with just a tap. Simply select your subject and the drone will film while executing 10 different maneuvers in sequence, keeping your subject center frame and generating a short cinematic video afterward. Focus Track features Spotlight 2.0 to keep your subject in frame while you fly the drone in different angles. Active Track 4.0 to track your subject efficiently in active track or parallel tracking modes. And Point of Interest 3.0 to track your subject and rotate around it in the direction and speed of your choice. The Mini 2 doesn't have tracking features, but it does have quick shots like the Air 2S, where the drone moves in preset motions depending on the type of quick shot to give you those cinematic shots that can easily be edited on the DJI Fly app and shared to social media. Quick shots includes Drone, Circle, Helix, Rocket, and Boomerang. If you want to learn how to use quick shots in the Mini 2 to get epic cinematic footage, you can find a link to that video in the description below. The Air 2S has sensors on the front and another set of sensors on the top and sensors in the back as well as on the bottom, while the Mini 2 only has sensors at the bottom. The Air 2S has a max range of up to 12 kilometers using the new O3 or OcuSync 3.0, while the Mini 2 has OcuSync 2.0 with a range of up to 10 kilometers. Both these drones have a max flight time of 31 minutes. I've really not had any connection problems with the Mini 2 in case you were wondering, but OcuSync 3.0 takes it up another notch. DJI Air 2S provides an added layer of airspace safety with the industry-leading AirSense safety system. This receives automatic dependent surveillance broadcast or ADS-B flight location information from airplanes and helicopters in your area that transmit ADS-B signals, displays those aircraft on a map, and provides audio and visual alerts through the DJI Fly app to help you keep the drone out of the way of those aircrafts. The top speed of the Air 2S is 68 kilometers an hour in sport mode, but keep in mind that the sensors only work in Cinesmooth and normal modes, and the top speed in sport mode with the Mini 2 is 57 kilometers an hour. Which drone is right for you as a first-time buyer, or should you upgrade from the Mini 2 to the Air 2S? That's something you're just gonna have to ask yourself. The Mini 2 is capable of so much, shooting 4K video, RAW photography, and you can also create hyperlapses. It's just gonna take more time, more effort, but it is possible. Yes, the Air 2S has a 1-inch camera that can shoot 20 megapixel photos and record video up to 5.4K and has automated hyperlapse modes. But is that something you need? If you're into vlogging and need some cool shots for YouTube or for fun or for family and friends to get some really nice photos from a higher perspective, something to take with you on your travels, then the Mini 2 is your perfect travel companion in these situations, because first, it doesn't need to be registered and you don't need to get a pilot certificate for it, but obviously you need to still abide by the rules, which is still important. I mean, the Mini 2 literally fits into your pocket. That's how tiny it is. There's also the price factor that you need to consider, where the Air 2S costs $1,000 and the Mini 2 costs only $419. If you end up getting the Air 2S and not flying it, and it just ends up lying somewhere on a shelf collecting dust, you might as well get the Mini 2 because you spend less money. If you're not going to take full advantage of shooting in D-Log or HLG, color profiles, and color grade your footage in post, then it's also no point of getting the drone, because the whole point of getting the Air 2S is to shoot in that 1-inch camera sensor in D-Log or HLG, which has 10-bit color. Gives you so many vivid colors to work with and gives your footage more vibrant look. Trust me, it is possible to get amazing cinematic looking footage from the Mini 2, and I've seen a lot of creators come up with some amazing looking footage from the Mini 2 that looks as if it were shot on a higher end drone. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not about the gear that you have, but what you do with it that really matters. So which one are you gonna get, or are you gonna upgrade? Let me know down in the comments below. On that note, I'd like to end this video by saying I hope you make the right decision and happy flying. Hit the like button on this video and subscribe if you haven't already for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Sometimes people wonder why I wear 2 AirPods when it's only one that's doing the actual audio recording. It's just because it feels weird when there's just one AirPod on one ear and the other one just empty. I don't know, it's just me. I find that weird. I know a lot of people do it, but it's just me. I feel strange. It's like something's missing, actually.